It's the Royal Oak Show with Carlo Ginotti. Tonight's guest, actor Ed Nahat. From the Crime Prevention Council, McGruff and Officer Mike Frazier. Plus, Farmers Market promoter Lee Bushman. And from Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle, Steve Bill. With music from Chris Flynn. And now, Carlo Ginotti!
Oh, boy, well, thank you very much. No, you can keep it up. I'm only kidding. No. Thanks again for coming back to the Royal Oak Show. We've got a great show as usual tonight. Andy, you excited about tonight? We got the Stanley Cup back to where it belongs. Let's hear it for the big... You know, I was watching the news the other day, and they had 2.7 million people downtown Detroit, and people were complaining about blocking traffic and using up all of the city's services. It's kind of like what we have, the Dream Cruise. It's only one day out of the year in Detroit. So, just kidding. We love the Dream Cruise, and we welcome it here all the time. Andy, this is our 18th, 19th show. I lost count after a little while, and you know, I'm still amazed at how many people come up to me and said, "Hey, you know, you're that guy that you sell insurance on TV," and I say, no, not that. But from time to time, people, you know, they start to copy what you and I wear and the things that we say. In fact, I was driving around last night in 70 miles an hour wind, and trees were passing by, and we had this tornado, if you haven't heard, and saw a bunch of guys standing on the street with a hairdo just like yours. So I can do that because my hair does not move depending on 70-mile-an-hour wind. Anyway, Andy, we've got a great show. Anything interesting going on Royal Oak these days?
Well, it's been hot. I do know that.
How hot? How hot has it been?
It was so hot. I went to McDonald's today, and I bought a cup of their coffee and dumped it over my head just to cool off.
Okay, I got to give you that one. That's a good one.
That's hot. Okay.
It was very hot.
It's going well. Things are going great.
Well, I'm glad. You're still happy? Everything's okay?
I couldn't be any happier. Really.
You got this gig. You know what else?
This gig, I've reached the pinnacle of broadcasting success, and there's nothing higher for me, I don't think.
All right, I can sense the sarcasm in your voice. So,
come on.
On that note, are you prepared to tell us what's going on in Royal Oak?
We've got a lot going on in Royal Oak, as always. And I'd be happy to tell you all about it.
Well, good, because I want to get right to our guests. We've got a great show for you tonight. Andy, with that, take us away and tell us what's going on in Royal Oak.
Well, thank you very much.
All right, Andy, thank you very much. Without any further ado, and that's the word that our producer hates, but since I have a lawyer sitting next to me, I can say that. Mr. Ed Nahat, thank you for coming on the show.
Carlo, great to be here. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I get yelled at all the time for using words like ado and Latin term, but that's kind of the stuff we talk about.
Wherefore and
art thou.
Art thou. Well, that's sort of Shakespearean, really. I mean, the law and Shakespeare sort of have the same basis in Latin language.
This is true, and much of what we do is based in theatrics.
That's true. That's true. I mean, look at you. You're a lawyer, and now you're a TV star.
Well, go on,
right,
not TV star.
Am I right about that?
No, I wouldn't say a TV star, but, well, okay. Yeah,
okay,
you're right.
he is. Yeah. And I'm a lawyer, and for fun, I decided to start a theater company here in Royal Oak. So it's sort of like putting on a show during the day in courtrooms and in the summertime in the park.
And now everybody likes lawyers again. So.
Yeah, well, we're trying.
And we're joking around up here, but you are an asset to have in our community. An asset, I said, to have in our community. And tell us a little bit about Ed Nahat. You're born in Royal Oak, right?
Yes, sir.
Lifelong Royal Oaker?
Yeah, but you know, I like the other communities too, Carlo.
Oh, I do too.
You know, mostly southeastern Oakland County is my favorite area of the whole world, right? I mean, you know. But yeah, Royal Oak is a special place for me. I was born here. My brother and my sisters, we were all raised right here in Royal Oak, went to Royal Oak schools. I went to Kimball High School and had a lot of fun there working on the high school plays and the choir and stuff like that. And I also learned how to act and sing at my own church, the Methodist Church in downtown Royal Oak. And so, you know, I've always loved it here, so I never really left. I studied theater at Wayne State, and then I studied law there.
So you're pretty much a jack of all trades. I want to get into some of the things that you've done for our city. Not to our city, but for our city.
Yeah. Well, I don't have any record that I know of, you know.
Not yet, anyway.
Maybe a couple
After
parking
appearing
tickets.
on this show, they'll be
they'll be like, I recognize that guy.
But obviously, I'm speaking of. You're the producer of the what we've come to love as a theater, Shakespeare in the Park. It's a annual event that pretty much stretches over the month of a couple weeks in July.
Yeah, it's really great. It's so much fun. I liken it to going away to camp but staying in town for me, because I produce the show. The company's called Waterworks Theater Company, and it's named after a little park in Royal Oak called Waterworks Park, which turned out to be too small to put Shakespeare in the Park in.
Is that where you had initially?
Well, that was my inspiration, because it's near my house. I saw the park. I said, wow, I'd love to do a show there. Well, the city commission wisely told me, you know, find a bigger park. So we went to Star JC Park, which is on 13 Mile Road between Crooks and Maine. And we've been doing a professional outdoor Shakespeare show in that park for 8 years. And it starts coming up on July 24th, runs for 3 weekends. And this year, we're really happy because we're doing Romeo and Juliet, which is a big deal for us because we've been doing comedies, lighthearted fare, and this is our first time we're doing a serious show. And we've got some great actors, professional actors who do Shakespeare, you know, for a living, and we're just really excited about it.
How did you get into? Because in a little while we're going to go into some detail about the production and what it takes. But how did you get into that line of work, so to speak? I mean, I know you're an attorney by day, litigation, basically.
Yeah, mostly I act in courtrooms around the Metro Detroit area. Yeah,
that's true. Well, you know, sometimes you fall down, and sometimes it's not so successful.
Right.
But how did you? You said you studied theater in high school, and when did you get the bug, so to speak?
Oh, I got the bug early, Carlo. 6th grade. You know,
really?
My mom made me act in a play, seriously, because she wanted me to get out of my shell. She thought I was in my shell, so I've been out of it ever since. And then I loved it in school, and I went on into college to study it.
At Wayne State.
At Wayne State, yeah, a great program there with the Hillberry, and then after that I became a professional stage actor and did some movies, locally produced independent feature films and television commercials.
Would we recognize any of the titles if you?
Well, my latest one we actually shot here locally called Trap. T-R-A-P is the name.
Okay.
And you can get that, you know, on video on demand, or the local cable provider has it. But it didn't. You might not hear of it because we didn't have what's called theatrical distribution. Because, you know, I was talking to somebody in the green room, and they say that they make 4,000 movies a year out there, but only less than 100 make it to the movie theater.
Really?
So there's all these movies out there. Some are good, like mine, hopefully, and some are not so good. But yeah, I did a lot of that, movies, acting, and theater. But you know, I've been a locally active person. I'm committed to improving the quality of life in this community, and I went to law school because I believe that you have to give something back. It's great to be creative and to provide artistic opportunities to people, and we have a young person's program. So it means a lot to me, but being a lawyer helps me to put together a whole company and a community activity that really improves the quality of life right here where I live.
Right. Well, I mean, I know that I've been involved from a sideline, if you will, and I've heard a lot of things about
yeah,
your
you've
program.
reviewed all the paperwork.
Yes, I have. And sometimes the city commission does do wise things, and they told you to go to a bigger park. But specifically as it relates to Shakespeare in the Park, where do you draw your actors from? From the community?
We try to focus on local talent, and one of our missions is to provide opportunities for talented people to stay right here. A lot of talented people, when I was younger, had to leave because the opportunities weren't there. They went to Chicago or New York or Los Angeles. And our little company is trying to provide opportunities for actors, for designers, for directors. And we hire these people who are professionals, but they're generally from here: Royal Oak, Hazel Park, Ferndale, Ann Arbor, all over the Metro Detroit area. We're providing an opportunity for professional artists to ply their craft and stay in town. It's culturally important, it's economically important, it's one of our main missions.
Well, great. You know, we're going to be right back after a few words from our supporters, and we're going to get into Shakespeare in the Park.
Oh, great.
So hold your breath, and we'll be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. A few positive words from Mr. Positive.
Look around and there's nothing but space between you and this world. You don't have to run from.
In a world of negatives, it's awesome to see When you keep looking up, your spirit is free to do for yourself as you would do for your brothers. So all is good within and all others. Our mission in life is not just our own endeavor. It's all mankind's task to reach out together. As you fight to go further in life, your best bet is to struggle collectively and never forget. We are all here on this earth to love and to labor, to make things positive for you and your neighbor.
All right, welcome back to the Royal Oak Show. And still with me is Mr. Ed Nahat. He hasn't left during the break, and I'm glad that that's the case.
No.
Ed, we're going to get right into Shakespeare in the Park because it is a fantastic event that you guys put on. I mean, it's a great deal of work, I would imagine, as well.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe it.
Briefly describe, if it's possible, that anybody doesn't know anything about Shakespeare in the Park, but there may be a few people out there. As I said earlier, Andy and I come into 15 million households a week. Not on this show, but we have a B&E on the side.
I'm starting to get nervous.
But there are a lot of people out there who may not have heard about it and would love to come down to Star Park and partake of Shakespeare.
Yeah, well,
how did you get it started? What do you do, and what does it take?
I'll tell you what we do. In the middle of Star J.C. Park on 13 Mile Road between Crooks and Main Street, there's an area that's sort of perfectly suited by nature. That's what's cool about it, is because there's a series of trees that go around in a semicircle, and right behind it is a pavilion building, which you might see from the road as you pass by. And people know this park as the park with the little miniature train that goes around. That's the famous park. And so what we do is we take that center area of the park, and within a week's time, we create an outdoor theater from nothing. It's just grass now, and we put fence around, we bring in bleachers, we build a custom professional design set, we bring in tents, and it's transformed within a week to Shakespeare in the Park. And it's wonderful because people come, they bring their lawn chairs, or they come with a blanket and a cushion, and they walk across the park. You got to park about maybe 5 minutes away, down at the end of the park, or up the street at the Manager Center, or at the Royal Oak School Board building. They let us use the
You've got a good partnership with the city and the school board and the surrounding area. I mean, the neighbors, from what I understand, they love it, and it's a thing that everyone embraces every
Absolutely.
year.
The first year was in 2001. A few of the people living around the park were wondering what was going on, but once they came over, they were instantly converts. So what happens is we get about 100 to 200, maybe 300 people a night. They come in with their lawn chairs and they sit on the grass, and then we start the show. And it's a Shakespeare show, but some of the actors come out of the trees, some of them come from behind. It's really a nice evening because then the sun sets in the west, which is behind the audience. So you're sitting there watching the show as the sun is setting behind you and the sun sets on the faces of the actors. And when it starts to get dark after intermission, we pull up the stage lights. It's amplified. It's a beautiful evening, and we even give away free bug wipes.
That's a good
during
thing.
intermission. We pass out the bug wipes.
Is there a cost to
oh yeah.
the admission?
Well, like I said earlier, we hire professional actors. Design is professional design. The directors are all professionals. So we do charge an admission fee. Adults, it's a $20 cost. Seniors and students, it's $15. And that's quite a bargain compared to Stratford, which is you have to drive several hours and pay twice as much.
In Stratford, they don't hand out the bug wipes.
And they don't hand out free bug wipes. That's
so
right.
That in itself is Andy, you'd even go if
Now I'm getting it.
Yeah. Well, that was my idea several years ago when I kept hitting my arm in the middle of the show. I realized,
everybody
other
thought
people.
that was part of the play. And
Yeah. So it's a reasonable cost. It's not out of reach for anybody, and you can buy the tickets online at our website, which is www.waterworkstheater.com.
Okay.
Or you can just buy them right at the park. It's easy. You just park, walk, buy in, and
like
it's
that.
great time. You can bring the kids. In fact, we have a special program for kids. Kids can come see our show on Sundays for free.
Wow.
All they have to do is bring a paying adult. And that program is sponsored by Target.
I like that.
So we have a national sponsor, and they really like what we do, and so that's great.
What kind of crowds do you get? I mean, every time I've driven by, or everything I've read about it, it's throngs of people in the park.
It depends on the night. You know, if it's overcast and it looks like rain, we get some really hardy people with some umbrellas. And I've had to call shows in the rain sometimes. I go up on the stage and cancel the show because it's pouring down, just like yesterday.
Right.
And there's people out there with umbrellas waiting for the show to start. It's like a baseball game, really. We put the show on unless it's raining too hard. So we get about anywhere from 100 to 300 people in any given night, depending. So we have a Thursday night show, which is a little bit easier to get into. Saturdays are a little more crowded. They're all 8 o'clock shows, except Sunday is a little bit earlier in the evening.
Oh,
so it's a nice group of people. It's a real pleasant experience. Very nice atmosphere, you know. People seem to be friendly neighbors all of a sudden when they come to see us.
Well, I understand that you've had some local celebrities. I think our mayor,
Oh, yeah.
Jim Ellison, was either bearing a sword or he was stabbed. I can't recall.
Oh,
which.
well, you know, the mayor and I have had a couple of sword fights on our stage.
What a coincidence. So I have too. So.
Yeah, well,
but you guys were using fake swords.
These were, well, they were real swords, but it was choreographed, you know,
okay.
For comedic effect. And boy, that guy's a natural actor, let me tell you.
He's a good swordsman,
yeah,
too.
and a good swordsman. So we had a good time with that. We always appreciate the support from City Hall that we get. And
the mayor's wife, Jody, is also involved.
Well, not this year, but she has a long history with us, and she was instrumental in a couple of years of really bringing us up another level. One year, in fact, the mayor's wife, Jody, was on site when I was rushed to the hospital, and she took over the whole operation because I had a kidney stone attack. It was terrible.
Maybe it was a stab wound or something.
Yeah, it felt like a stab wound, I'll tell you.
They took you right off the stage. Did the people applaud? They probably thought that was part of the...
No. It was early in the morning. Nobody was there yet. But I called from the hospital. The show must go on, you know. And so she took over. Oh, my gosh. She did a great job.
Well, that's great.
And
this year you're doing Shakespeare, or you're doing...
Romeo and
Juliet.
Yeah.
But last year and the year before, you had other performances. Is that correct?
We've been doing comedies. We did Midsummer Night's Dream. We did Much Ado About Nothing. We did Comedy of Errors. That was a lot of fun.
Kind of like when Andy and I get together.
It's like this. Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. Well,
it all comes together in the end, though.
Yeah, we've been doing comedies for a long time, and people like them. But this year we're trying something new, and we're also doing a kids program where we teach kids how to do Shakespearean monologues and sword fights and hair pulling and combat, and they love the program. It's a day camp. They come for 4 days, and then they perform on our stage.
Well, that's really neat. You get a good turnout for that?
Yeah, we usually get about 50 or 60 kids that sign up. They love it. It's really remarkable. A lot of my nieces and nephews have done it, and you know, they really enjoy it a lot.
Well, we're hoping that we can continue to support you in any way. The Royal Oak Show, of course, is one of your biggest supporters.
Thank you.
Anything we can do to help you along. I think we've already mentioned, but just in case we didn't, the dates for the
oh, yeah, thanks. July
24th
is opening night.
Okay.
It's a Thursday night, and then we have 3 weekends total, so we'll go July 24th through August 10th.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Maybe sometime after the performance you can come back and in full full costume and
I'll bring someone else in costume, but we try to close our show out before the Dream Cruise starts getting real crazy.
You get out of town after that, right?
Yeah, well, we at least get the set out of the way.
You don't hear a lot of Old English or Shakespearean language when the Dream Cruise comes into town, do you?
No, as a matter of fact, you don't.
I don't understand why that's the case.
We could try to merge the two someday.
That would be interesting. We have a Dream Cruise in the park with Shakespeare driving a '57 Chevy or something.
Nothing's beyond you, I'm sure. You can take care of that.
Well, Andy and I will start working on that right away.
All right.
Well, Ed, it's been a pleasure having you here, and hopefully Shakespeare in the Park will continue to be a success, and it'll help the law practice during the day.
Yeah.
That gets hard to juggle sometimes, I would imagine.
In the summer, it's busy, but it's worth it.
Thank you,
Carlo.
It's really appreciate it. We're going to take a little break here, but don't go back. Don't go away, I should say, because we'll be right back with McGruff and Officer Mike Frazier. Thank you very much. Royal Oak Police Department. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
The Royal Oak Show website is accessible 24/7. Visit royaloakshow.com to get information about our guests, find handy-dandy community links, and locate our great sponsors. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Royal Oak Show. We're going to go from Shakespeare in the Park to McGruff and Officer Mike Frazier from the Royal Oak Police Department. Let's give them a big round, big welcome, a Royal Oak welcome here. Now, McGruff, I know I don't really speak canine, so you brought Officer Mike Frazier from the Royal Oak Police Department here tonight, who's going to do most of the talking for you tonight. And I hope they took you for a little walk before you came in here. Did they let you run around outside for a little while? Two, a little break. Okay.
He's potty trained.
Okay. I don't have to bring out a newspaper or anything, do I?
No.
Well, McGruff, everyone knows you, of course. You are the crime-fighting dog. The gentleman, the handsome gentleman seated to your right, people may not know him. Of course, we have the pleasure of knowing him as Officer Frazier from the Royal Oak Police Department. Mike, what brings you and McGruff here tonight?
Well, we wanted to come by and talk about some of the upcoming things we have and discuss some of the things going on with the police department and maybe answer a few questions for the people out there that they might have as far as criminal trends or things like that going on in Royal Oak.
Well, did you have to take special training to be able to communicate with McGruff the way you do so well?
Not necessarily special training. We kind of have a vibe going.
Do you?
And,
it's a human canine sort of thing?
Yeah. Yeah.
McGruff, how do you like working with Officer Frazier? He's the best, that's for sure. Well, McGruff, you've been a very busy dog, a crime fighter recently. I know that you and Officer Frazier have been very busy keeping the people of Royal Oak and other areas very safe. We're very fortunate to have you here tonight. We're very fortunate to have you in Royal Oak, actually, I must say. I've seen you in parades. I've seen you on some of the things that you sponsor. Are you working with one particular group more than others in the city of Royal Oak? And Mike, you're more than welcome to jump in if you know the answer to that.
Yeah, McGruff works with the Crime Prevention Council, which is a council in Royal Oak that gets together once a month, and we discuss trends and things that are going on with the neighborhoods and things we see and ways that we can help prevent these things and get the message out to the citizens and pretty much lend a hand in any way that the council can. And McGruff works very closely with them, and we have some members in the audience also from the Crime Prevention Council that came here to lend their support this evening.
Well, that's great. We're welcome to have the members here. Now, I want to make sure that everyone understands this is a volunteer group of people who are appointed, and they volunteer on a continual basis, and basically they act as a liaison, if you will, between the police department and the community.
Yeah, they're a great help towards us. They are volunteer. They show up on their own time and put a lot of effort into a lot of the activities that we have in Royal Oak, be it the parade, the Memorial Day Parade, or National Night Out, or various other events and things like that we have. They're a big part of.
Well, I've seen McGruff, as I'm sure many of our viewers have seen McGruff on national TV. There's all sorts of different campaigns that he's involved in. Andy, you've actually seen McGruff, the crime-fighting dog, up close and personal, haven't you?
Well, what do you mean by that, Carl?
Well, I mean, this is McGruff, the crime-fighting dog, takes a bite out of crime.
Oh, yes, I'm familiar with that, yes.
See, I think McGruff knows you, Andy, so that's I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
I better slip out the back door.
You know our announcer over there, is that true, McGruff? We won't say how you know him. If he could do this, he would be doing that right now. So, Officer Frazier, how did you? You're currently our community police officer. Is that correct? Community liaison.
Correct. Yeah.
And what does that entail? What kind of stuff do you do for our community?
I'm kind of a man that wears many hats. I work with various groups throughout the city. I sit on a lot of the different boards, the Coalition, Royal Oak Coalition. I sit with the Crime Prevention Council. I meet with a lot of civic groups. We discuss various problems throughout the community that we may have or that we may want to prevent, that we could see coming. I also work with the elementary schools, the middle schools, and all the parochial schools, and talk to roughly about 1,500 kids a year on various safety issues and things as far as internet safety or stranger safety or bike safety or bullying. I work in the schools a lot with the principals. We have a high school liaison, and then I do the elementary, the middle school, and all the other schools. Let
me ask you a silly question, which sometimes I'm prone to do. But how important is community involvement in police work and what you and McGruff do? Could you do the great job that you guys do without an involved community? Let's put it that way.
No, not at all. The support of the community helps our job in ways that most people don't even realize. A lot of the crimes that we solve through tips or help through the community, or people just calling us up and saying, I see something suspicious or something just doesn't look right. And that's one of my jobs, is I work with the neighborhood watch groups and getting the word out on things that we've noticed, but also taking the word in from the neighborhoods on what they've seen or problems they've seen. And we work together jointly to try to, bring crime down in our neighborhoods and make Royal Oak a safer community.
After our break, we're going to talk a little bit about what you and McGruff have planned for the community. But everything that Officer Frazier just said, do you agree with that, McGruff? That's one. I'd say that's a yes.
Yeah.
How is it? What's it like to work with McGruff here? He seems like a pretty docile pooch.
He's pretty laid back. He doesn't complain too often.
But I understand he gets pretty mean when you talk about crimes and criminal.
He doesn't like crime, that's for sure, and that's usually when he shows his teeth, is when crime gets serious or he's around criminals. But besides that, he's housebroken, and he just kind of likes to lay at the end of the bed.
That's a good thing, because this couch is a rental, so we
good deal.
I might have to bring out the lint roller later on and get some of the hair.
Get some of his hair off, yeah.
McGruff seems like a good guy, good animal to work with.
He's great to work with. He's very involved. He likes to talk to the kids with me, as well as keep the adults informed, and every once in a while go after a criminal if he can.
All right, well, and just after this brief moment from one of our supporters, we're going to find out some of the great things that you and McGruff have planned. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Officer Frazier and McGruff, the crime-fighting dog. Thank you for coming back to the Royal Oak Show, ladies and gentlemen. We have with us again McGruff, the crime-fighting dog, and Officer Mike Frazier. Officer Frazier, this is going to be kind of difficult, but I'm going to have you again act as the translator. But I know that you and McGruff are going to be very busy over the next couple months. Summer, as you know, I'm not telling you anything you don't know, is a time to get out into the community and find out what's happening. And because you guys, the Royal Oak Police Department, are doing much more with less. He takes the stage sometimes, doesn't he?
Yeah, he never takes a day off. He's always working.
McGruff is always working and giving you guys the help that you need.
Yep.
Tell us, McGruff, if you can, through your own way and through Officer Frazier, what you've got planned for this summer. You got any parades coming up? Do you want me to give you guys a minute to confer?
National Night Out and the neighborhood watch meetings.
Mm-hmm. Well, McGruff wants to remind everybody that we have National Night Out coming up August 5th.
That's a great event. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what it means?
Yeah, National Night Out is a national event in which on the same night, everyone across the nation gets together within the neighborhoods. It's kind of a push for the neighborhoods to show their support in ridding the neighborhoods of crime and drugs and violence and things like that. Everybody gets together to show their support and let the criminals out there know that they're not going to take crime in their neighborhoods. And we have 4 stops in Royal Oak in which we get vehicles from the police department and the fire department. We get some other vehicles from the DPW, like some dump trucks and things. And we drive around with the fire department, the police department, and some of our canine units. And McGruff is there also with his fellow canines. And we go to 4 different spots where the neighborhood block captains from the neighborhood watch get a group of people from the neighborhoods together. And we sit and talk about various issues that we know about, and we hand out some things and talk to the kids and meet the kids, and they get to look in the trucks and the police cars and the fire trucks, and it's kind of a family event.
So this is a national event, and basically we have a little slice of it right here in Royal Oak.
Correct. Royal Oak, over the last 2 years, has actually won a national award for their participation in this event. We've had an excellent turnout from the citizens, and we're very proud to be a part of it again this year.
Is it tough to get, I know McGruff is very busy on a national stage, but is it tough to get McGruff to come to this event, or does he basically volunteer every year?
McGruff is very busy, but McGruff is very dedicated to Royal Oak, and I think it's probably one of his favorite communities. So anytime we ask him, he's always here for us.
Do you have to have special biscuits for him or anything when he comes to town?
Sometimes we have to have a couple special treats or a Scooby snack maybe. But
he's partial to Scooby snacks.
Yeah, he likes Scooby snacks.
I can see him salivating right there.
Yeah, he's going to start.
Maybe we'll get a napkin after the show.
So.
But what else do you have planned with McGruff?
We have coming up in July, we're pushing to get new block captains and new people involved with our Neighborhood Watch. Our Neighborhood Watch is an excellent program in which we get to empower the citizens to help us out. The police department does everything we can, but we are very busy, and any help we can get from the citizenry out there, we take. And we have a lot of dedicated people in this city. We have right around 80 people involved in the Neighborhood Watch Block Captain program, and what that is they're kind of a liaison from us to the neighborhoods, in which I disseminate information on anything that's going on around the city as far as crime trends or anything like that, and they disseminate it out to their neighborhoods, and it's a way for us to share information with the community and keep them involved, and another way for them to get information back to us.
I'm going to ask you to let us in on a little secret. How does McGruff get along with some of the other canines that are out there? Is there any jealousy once in a while because he gets to wear a raincoat and they don't?
Not too bad. Yeah, he gets to hang around with me, and the other dogs, they get cooped up in a car a little bit more. But no, there's not too much jealousy.
They all get along pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
And McGruff, is there anything you'd like to say about what's coming up this summer, and give maybe a little bit of advice to people of Royal Oak?
Coming out to National Night Out, that's what he wants to say. Get everybody involved in the Neighborhood Watch programs and National Night Out, and help us take a bite out of crime like McGruff likes to do.
Yeah, I can tell he's a very active canine. We're going to hopefully wrap this up, and we're going to try to get some information out to the people, but it's safe to say that they can probably call City Hall to get more information about what you and McGruff are doing, I would say.
They could call City Hall, or if anybody's interested in getting involved in the Neighborhood Watch program or has any questions about National Night Out, they can call me directly.
Great. Well, thank you very much for coming down, and thanks for bringing McGruff. McGruff, thank you very much. I don't want to make any sudden motions with McGruff here.
He's okay.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we're right back with Lee Bushman. Thank you.
Join us on the next Royal Oak Show, when our guest will be author Kurt A. David. From the tropical fish ponds, Pat Malone. And from Mark Woodley's Comedy Castle, Brian McCree. We'll be right back.
Hey, my friend, yeah, I wish you...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Royal Oak Show. I have with me Lee Bushman. You're going to love this part of the show. Lee, let's get right to you. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And you are bringing something very special to Royal Oak, starting July 13th from 8 o'clock in the morning until roughly 5 o'clock at night.
That's right. We're having an event. It's very similar to the Antiques Roadshow. It's going to be very similar. We're going to have cameras there, and people are going to be able to come in and bring their antiques, find out how much they're worth, and get it appraised. And they're also going to be able to tell their stories about, how they found their item. Like, I pulled it out of the garbage, and it was free. I want to find out how much it's worth and find out if it's, a priceless piece of art or it's still a piece of trash. But
and you're going to tell them that if that's the case.
Well, our appraisers will definitely tell them that in a very nice way.
So you're not actually one of the appraisers, but you're going to have professional, if you will, appraisers who are going to come in, and the advice that they give is going to be professional.
That is correct.
And they can take that advice to the bank, so to speak.
That is correct.
You're actually the producer. You're the person bringing it into our city, and you're going to produce the show itself, correct?
That is right. I'm one of the producers.
Okay.
We are a film production company out of the Oakland County area, and I'm in charge of marketing for the company, but I also do some of the production work. And we're bringing in all the camera crew, and we'll be filming and getting people involved and involved in the excitement of the event.
Oh, great.
Excuse me, in the excitement of the event, and I'll be hosting the event as well, and getting people to talk about their different items.
We're going to have a little taste of the Royal Oak version of the Antiques Roadshow right now. I understand you brought some things that you'd like me to appraise, if you will.
Yeah, we'll see what you got.
Okay.
Now what we have here...
It's a suitcase. I would say it's worth... No, it's not. That's not the item. Did you think that, Andy?
It's actually part of the item. It comes with it.
Holy moly.
But this...
Ooh, be still my heart.
...is a Knights of Columbus hat.
I recognize that.
And it's got the peacock plumage. And it actually... This case is part of it. And it's got 3 sets of gloves. It's got braiding as well.
Wow.
And... any guess how much something like this might go for?
I don't know. I'm speechless at this point. I'm a knight here, and that's a rare privilege to be that close. So I would say that it's probably worth at least. Andy, what would you say? I'm thinking 1,200 maybe.
Boy, that's a tough one. I don't know. Hundreds. A couple.
It's a little high.
Yeah, you were a little high.
Okay, well, see, that's that's not the first time I've been told that, but
Hey.
it's been a long time. But anyway, I would say we're probably close to 1,000. Is that?
You know what? We're going to have to go a little lower than that.
Okay. Why don't you tell us what you think it's been appraised at?
From one of our appraisers, talking to him, he said on eBay you could probably get it for somewhere around like $130, $140. And you got to keep in mind, we also have the person that had it beforehand put their name in it, so you have to take things like that into account as well.
See, I was going so high because it looks like it's an antique. I mean, it looks like it's old. I mean,
and you have to keep in mind too, something like this, because that's how much our appraiser says it would go for. Some person might find this like priceless to them, and they could pay a lot of money for something like this because it's very hard to find. So who the heck knows what might happen?
Well, that's good, and you're going to have items like that, and hopefully other stuff as well.
Oh yeah, hopefully we get a lot of exciting items like this.
All right, so that's the item it could be. We were a little high, obviously. We wouldn't make a living as appraisers, Andy.
We move on to our next careers then.
But that's great. So items like this and others are going to be. You can have a seat if you'd like. And these are the kind of things that you're hoping people are going to come in and bring.
Absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about the program itself. We're hoping that it's going to be well attended. I'm sure you guys are getting the word out. There is no cost to come to the show and to watch, but there is a cost to have your items appraised. Is that correct?
That's correct. It's going on at the Farmers Market in Royal Oak, and there's also the farmer markets. They have a flea market that goes on every Sunday, and that's going to be going on at the same time.
Oh, okay.
And we're
So
also going to be going on. There's going to be 2 events going on at the same time. It's going to be a really good day. You can spend the whole day there and have a good time.
Oh, great.
But
how does somebody get a hold of you or get more information if they want to participate? I'd like to come down. How would I get in touch with you and find out more?
Well, we are putting together a little MySpace page for everybody right now. There is not too much up there. There will be in the next few days, but it's myspace.com/antique show. And that's the place you'd want to go to, and all the event information will be put up there very shortly.
Well, great. Is this also going to be televised on regular TV or cable? Or?
Well, we are talking to different places about doing that, and we have to do the closed captioning and that sort of thing. But the footage, we are planning on putting a short, 35, 45-minute little movie together with some of the best moments of the day, and people will be able to purchase that, and we'll be handing out cards for every person that attends, so they know where to go to get it.
Right here in Royal Oak, and we're glad to have you, and welcome to Royal Oak, and thank you for bringing this to our city.
It's my pleasure.
I hope you all the success in the world, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with our comedy man, Steve Bills.
Scream it out, she'll never get through.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've all been waiting for, the funny stuff. Our comedian, Steve Bills.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I am from the Detroit area originally. It's kind of exciting. I'm actually born and raised in this area, and it's kind of weird for me. I go on vacation occasionally, and I tell people I'm from Detroit, they get kind of scared of me. Look at me like I'm in a gang, right? The Polish counts will mess you up. It's like, how you doing? It's even worse when people visit me. I got to make suggestions for things to do around town. That's kind of tough, It's like, I don't know, you guys want to go look at the big tire? It's on the way to the airport. That's probably where you want to go anyway. There's a cool new bridge over Telegraph we can go look at. It's from a Rent-A-Center. We got to take it back. Detroit's got a bad reputation. I don't know. I've been all over the country, and I think it's a little unwarranted, but it's kind of funny if you think about it. Look at East Detroit. Recently changed their name to East Point. Trying to be more like the Grosse Points if anyone's falling for that. I don't think it's working. I mean, they can send a letter up to someone in California. They see the return address in the envelope. Automatically think these people live in a big A-frame on the water. I mean, no one needs to know they really live in a refrigerator box behind a topless bar in 8 Mile. Different name, same town, I'm pretty sure. I think it's a slam against Detroit. I think the mayor should step in immediately and change the name of Detroit to Point. Right back in the voting booth. Next thing on the agenda, go right up Gratiot, change Roseville to what's the point? Want to see that in the map. Do we have any East Siders in the group? I apologize. And I want to tell you, if you don't know you're an East Sider, usually your name's on your jacket. You know, how you doing? My name's Bob. Wait a second. Wait, this is where I work. I kid the East Siders, but it's kind of funny how East and West. East Siders come to the West Side all the time to party, to hang out, to fill the bars up. But West Siders don't go to the East Side ever. They can't even go by accident. They'd be driving and not paying attention, driving east on 696. Their car will automatically go north on 75, west on Big Beaver Road to the safety of Somerset Collection. So we all know that's kind of cool. What about casinos? A lot of fun down there. I'm not gambling down there. I went down to the casino in Detroit. I brought my credit card with my ATM card. I pressed the wrong button on the ATM machine and qualified for a home equity loan. That was a bad start. I lost all my money. Cash in the deed to the tar paper lean-to. Had to go out for that last bet in the car to find any kind of monetary value. I found 74 pennies and some returnables. Go to the, the roulette table. Can I get $2 on black and some returnables? I'm like, what do you mean you don't take Faygo? Look at the West Siders. They're like, what's this Faygo you speak of, this strange beverage? It's what East Siders use to chase their Mohawk vodka on break at the factory. I hope this isn't air on the East Side, so we're cool, man. Having a lot of fun. I love being a comedian. It's a lot of fun. It's a great job. I enjoy it a lot. This is the kind of stuff, it's kind of a payback. It's a lot of fun to do things like this. But I've had the boring jobs in the past. I think the most boring job I ever had by far was head of security at Everything's $1. Wow, that's a long day at the office there. I was only allowed to carry weapons picked from store inventory. It's kind of dangerous there. I took it serious, though. I was like, oh. Yeah. I felt like an idiot in the dollar store with the security outfit on. I mean, you have to steal the whole store to get a felony. Never made it past that level of law enforcement. I always thought I could be in the cop thing. My dad was a Macomb County sheriff for years. But I don't want to take the first aid classes to save the lives of the killers I'm watching. It makes no sense. Like, for example, we'll even save Bin Laden's life if we ever catch him. They'll do it over at Gitmo down in Cuba. He'll be choking on the prison floor. They'll rush to his aid, give him some kind of first aid. I say take your first crack, like emergency tracheotomy. Oh my God, Ben's not breathing. What should we do? I don't know. Poke his neck with a pencil. It's not working. The hole is just sucking in his beard. And of course, they give Charles Manson all the rights in the world. What is he, a locked-up serial killer from the 60s? And they got him on TV. They fill out all the paperwork at his parole hearings. Why the work release papers, everybody? What are they going to do? What kind of job can you hold down with a swastika gouge in your forehead? What are you going to do, decorate cookies for neo-Nazi bake sales? This is my favorite joke. I'm doing a whole tray. Having a lot of fun on the road, though. Got to go visit my mom. My mom's a big holiday person. Got to go see her on the 4th of July. Love the summer holidays. I'm kind of a summer person. Hate the rest of the year, though. Hate everything. Even hate the Christmas thing. Never get the shopping done on time. Last Christmas Eve, I was home at midnight. Didn't have everything bought yet. I got lucky, though. My dog went into labor. That took care of like 5 gifts. She's a damn good dog. Her actual due date wasn't until January 30th. It was perfect because Great Dane preemies look just like Chihuahua puppies. You gotta lie to get rid of the big ones. I think the holidays are all the same, though. If you have any kids, God bless out there. I think the holidays would be great if we had them all on one day. Days off for paid where it's applied, all those stupid little customs, and 1 8-hour crazy day with the family. Just get up in the morning and start the Easter egg hunt. That works up everyone's appetite for turkey dinner. For dessert, you serve cake and green eggnog, sing happy birthday to everybody, break right into Christmas carols. Exchange presents, raise the American flag, plant a tree in the backyard. Christmas lights are still up from last year, go to a president's sale. On the way home, you stop at a 2-priest combined Easter Vigil Christmas Mass. But you leave for the last hymns, don't be late for the fireworks. Back at home, you sip champagne, you smoke your last cigarette, and if you're Jewish, you can't forget to light the last Hanukkah candle in the jack-o'-lantern. Thank you. Steve Bill, thank you very much.
Steve,
hey, thank you very much.
That was very funny.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. There's a CD for you. It's got my CD. Remember this face.
Oh, well, great.
Yeah,
let me show that to the 15 million people that that are watching the show tonight.
Yeah,
I
that's
just received another free gift.
The amazing CD. It's got
a Comedy Castle set actually on there, and also I did a thing on 97.1. It's a funny piece. You can check it out.
Oh, great. I'm going to listen to that on the way home tonight. I live on the west side, so.
Yeah, you'll have plenty of time.
You're funny. Some of that stuff about Detroit is right on. I mean, I can tell you're from this area. So.
Oh, yeah.
My wife still, pokes me when people ask where we're from, and I say, well, right outside of Detroit, and right away they give you that look.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole beginning part is about that. I don't know, the Latin Counts, I think, is stuck in my head as a kid. I remember hearing about that gang, so I thought a Polish gang would be funny and not all that dangerous.
You don't see a lot of the Polish gangs around, do you?
No, you don't. My mother's maiden name is Mankowski, so I'm definitely half Polish, so I'm allowed. I don't know if that's politically correct.
You could have that tattooed on your back or something. Well, Steve, thanks for being on the show, first of all. You're a very funny guy, I'll tell you. That was, it made us all laugh. Tell us about the the Comics on Duty World Tour.
It's a military-based tour, obviously. It's an international tour. In fact, I didn't go myself. I'm the domestic road manager for the tour, but they did go into Iraq, Afghanistan, ships in the Persian Gulf, Djibouti, Africa, the Med. I mean, anywhere there's U.S. military personnel, the Comics on Duty World Tour goes.
And what does it do? What do you guys do when you're on tour?
It's a network quality comedy tour. We generally have 4 to 5 comedians for troops.
And I bet you $5 if you tell the troops over there that you're from Detroit. Those that aren't here would say, "Whoa, I'd rather be here." No,
yeah, occasionally you get people that I ask them if they're going to come back. Depends where you're at. I mean, we've done Hawaii, but I mean, there's also a lot of places where you go and they're not going to be too happy where they're stationed.
Yeah, so that's a great thing you do, and it's on your spare time, I take it, that you manage this tour.
Well, I mean, it's a lot of work. I mean, you're on the road. I mean, I did about a 10-week tour all the way out to the West Coast and back, and all the way down California, then back up, to Key West.
So I'm getting the signal from our stage manager that I got to wrap it up here. So
okay.
I wanted to just make sure, again, thank you very much. You are also going to be at the Comedy Castle on December 26th and 27th.
That is correct.
And if people wanted to get more information about Steve Bills, how would they do that?
Go to comicsonduty.com.
What was that?
Comicsonduty.com.
Comicsonduty.com. All right, thanks again for coming, Steve, to the Royal Oak Show. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank our studio audience. Without you, we couldn't have done this. I'd also like to thank Ed Nahat, our other guest, McGruff and Mike Frazier, Lee Bushman from the Antiques Roadshow, and of course, Steve Bills. Thank you very much for coming to the Royal Oak Show.
Thank you. I see you hesitating, I always underestimate myself. What's the point of making it up to you now?